Hey Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. Yay, we are back for another episode. I'm excited to spend this moment together. How are you? How are you doing today? I am excited for this episode and what's going to come through. We're talking all about how to know if you're manifesting what you want. And I remember I used to ask this a lot. It used to be part of the mystery. And that's one thing that I'm kind of here to do, is to demystify manifestation, because there is a magical element. Of course, there's the universe and the fairy dust that the universe sprinkles on everything, and the serendipitous events and the things that do truly feel like miracles and magical, the way that they come about, that is for sure. However, how we get to that point is not that mysterious. And I think that was something that I was always confused. Like, what part was spirituality, like what I believed in and my path and all this. And then what part was like physical manifestation and the law of attraction. It's like, how do we put those together? Right. So I don't know if you've ever wondered that. If you have, I'll probably, help to clarify some of that today. But this is really about that question of, how do I know I'm manifesting what it is that I want? So we're going to dive all into it. But before we jump in, hello, my name is Talia Joy. To anybody who is new and all my returning homies, my name is Talia Joy. Welcome to my corner of the podcast internet. And I'm just excited to be here. And to everybody who is listening, I just want to let you know that I love to hear how you found the show. I have people reaching out, especially on Instagram all the time, or when we get to connect in person or through a container, and they're like, I found your podcast because, and it's always some sort of thing where, whether it came up on a news feed or a friend recommended, it was like this moment and they needed it and they went and listened to an episode, and then, oh my God, and I listened to a bunch more, or that just really helped me in the day or helped me to uplift my energy, my mindset, all that stuff. It just baffles my mind every single time, because I'm a legit real human over here, like doing what lights her heart up. And I've done a lot of things that have worked and not worked, and been abundant and not been abundant. And, I just learned approximately 2 years ago when I started this podcast, I was really starting to enter this deep embodiment of like, you be you. And I'd gone through the lessons and the initiation around that, learning what the hell that means. I still am. But I know that the podcast came about in a time when it was all of a sudden like, be self-expressed. People need to hear. And it just felt right. It felt authentic to me. So before that, I was on Facebook as far as the social media component, and I had Facebook groups for short amounts of times. I'd have a Facebook group with like a group program and stuff like that. But I had my business page, and I still do. I'm active over there. I'm posting there every day. But the platform itself, I started feeling like I had a lot to say and a lot to download. And I notice when people sit with me and they're engaged and they feel it, there's this energetic upgrade. And so I realized that Facebook didn't really feel like the authentic platform for me as much as I love it. I don't want to say to you like, hey, come over to Facebook for 52 minutes while I talk about this, and be glued to your phone and don't click anywhere else or you'll get out of the video and it's this big deal. I don't know, something, I was growing out of it. And I had one Facebook page that got like shut down because it was some very mysterious thing. It was some sort of error that I posted, and it was saying I was posting about drugs or illicit material or something. And I never did get a response, but my page was shut down, etc. There's a bunch of things led me to go like, this is not quite my groove. And I'd been on Instagram personally back in the day when it was just a picture and a very creative caption. And I liked it, but it didn't really resonate with me for business. So all that has changed since. I love Instagram as far as like doing reels and posts. I love connecting, on that platform. And now I'm on TikTok doing videos and stuff. But I was growing out of Facebook, and podcasts. Like I had never really listened to podcasts. I felt like other people listened to podcasts. And one day I had my son, I think, or maybe it was before that while I was pregnant, I was going on lots of walks and I was like, I'm going to download a podcast. I don't know. Let's see what this podcast thing is. Podcast.com. I'm like, how does this work? I truly was like, how does a podcast work? Like I didn't realize you needed like a different app. It was a whole mess. And then I found them and I was listening one day and it just hit me. I was out on a walk and it just hit me like, you have to do this. This is your authentic platform. And I already was recording meditations and people really would always say your voice is soothing or your voice just like I can relax or whatever it was. I'm like, fuck, I have to do this. So I did it. And here we are 2.5 years later ish. And over 100,000 downloads. And like the last time I counted, it was like 28 countries. And I just, holy crap. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. I always say thank you for giving yourself this time because it really is a form of self-care. Whether you're driving, you're doing the dishes, you're on a walk, you're just laying around, laid on your bed, listening, whatever you're doing, I really honor the fact that you honor yourself and are listening to this type of information and transmissions and medicine that comes through, because I truly feel that we all can have the life that we are dreaming of. And as I've said 1,000,002 times, that life that you see for yourself in your mind's eye is actually the one that's meant for you. It's the one that's calling you with breadcrumbs. And sometimes we just get really stuck or we're in our old patterns. And I've realized more and more, even over the last year, the things I knew I'm embodying even more. So like I've always known, like you can create the life of your dreams, like vision boards, go for it. But I wasn't creating the life of my dreams, like slowly and steadily, but I wasn't in it. So I knew it, but I didn't fully embody it yet. And over the last few years, I mean, there's always much to expand into. I'm definitely not there or some perfect human or whatever, but I just get it so much more. And we do actually get to live the life of our dreams. And if you are in a pattern that you've been experiencing over and over and it feels like there's no way out, I just want to say that I see you and I really deeply understand that. And I promise you, you will move through this and you'll look back with wisdom and go like, wow, I'm glad she just kept going. I'm glad that they just kept showing up for themselves, and it all adds up. Every book, every course, every podcast, every blog you read or meditation you do or bath you have, walk you take, it all adds up. And it is very much like exercise in that way, that you don't change your body by hitting the gym once, but every single workout you do makes a difference. And when you start working out regularly, just for this example, you see how getting in those Monday, Wednesday, Fridays or whatever, they all add up, and it really does work. It's momentum, it's energy. You are here as, I'm guessing, an old soul and probably an empath, as somebody who is meant for more. And you're not just meant for more just to be the millionaire. You're meant for more, like to shine and radiate and grow in your soul, which will result in monetary, abundance and in all the forms, and to get to have the things that you desire, you will get to have that. But you're also someone who's here for deep growth and transformation. So your path of manifestation is not always easy. That's why I get you. It's not just your superficial manifestation, and you can do that. And like I've said all the time, like I sometimes have goals around $20,000 or something, but generally I'm about a state of being. I'm about feeling joy in my day. I'm about feeling free in my life, free in my skin, feeling like I'm really moving through things, and life, anything I want is available. I feel that's where I want to be in. And that's my state of energy that really is my highest self, is that knowing. I know how to create what I want. I know how to move through this. And we don't always know, but I'm just saying that general confidence of fuck yeah, I can manifest this. Watch me go. To know I don't have to stay stuck. I don't have to be in looping patterns. I now see what's going on. You're so close, if not already there, to understanding so much about how to move through these. And that becomes the work, right? So I'm excited for this episode. I know that you are here for big things like I am. You maybe feel the tingles, you feel it in your soul, and I'm going to encourage you to keep going. And we're going to talk about all the things today. So welcome. And for any of you that are new, I'm so grateful you're here. My name is Talia Joy. I know I already went into the episode. I kind of just do this. I throw the intro in wherever. Is it going to be 3 minutes? Is it going to be 13 minutes? Nobody knows. I'm Talia Joy. I live on the west coast of Canada in Vancouver Island. I am a manifestation mentor. I'm a seeker on the path. I am a healer, a channel. I am what I would call an activator. I feel like I know you guys hear about this and maybe you've taken activated or you're part of the current round that just started. So excited. But I consider myself that because what I say goes beyond the physical words. And if you are very open to it, if you listen with an open heart or at least a curious heart, it will seep into you. And it's the truth. It's the truth about how this universe works and how you get to create what you want. That being said, when I say the truth, I'm fully aware that everybody has their own truth, and my truth is my truth, and I share it here on the show, and parts are going to resonate with you. And if something doesn't, it's all good. Or if I'm saying spirit or creator or God and any words don't fit with you, just release it, just flip it into what works, because what I am here to do is to show you how this experience works through my own lived experience of, being bullied and being really insecure about myself, not having a lot of self-worth, self-confidence. That was always the struggle. It was my body and I was bullied for it. I had other, things happen in my life that were pretty traumatizing, but I feel like that was kind of the heavy hitter was my body, and it blossomed into an eating disorder that was present from the time I was about 15 until like 30. It was a long time, and it was something that I remember so clearly. The suffering, the confusion, the control, the obsession that was through me every single day. And it was all fueled by this, like, I am not good enough. If I change my body, then everything will be better. And we chase that. A lot of us do, probably all of us do at some point or another. We're chasing this external thing that we think we want. So the bullying turned into an eating disorder, and that was a long time, and alcohol and drugs and all sorts of things to numb, to get out of my mind, out of my head. I was never good with what you would call discipline or motivation or self-control. No, I was impulsive. I was damaging to myself. I was self-sabotagey. When I'd get dark, I'd get sneaky. Also a Scorpio. So I'll fucking hide that shit for days or for a lifetime in the vault. It's into the depths, swallowed up. But seriously, it was in the darkness, and I couldn't be present in my life. I couldn't bear to face it sober or without coping, because it was just not a good place to be in my mind. And that led me to a lot of places. I touch on a lot of things on the show. I share with my clients and here, and just, part by part, tell you about what my experience is, and have, just to know that I know what it's like to suffer. And I've been through a lot of shit, and definitely didn't believe I could do it. That was never the easy thing for me. So the fact that I'm here doing what I do, and I'm continuing to show up and do the work, and, not just manifest, but grow and heal. I really look forward to helping you and supporting you. I'm definitely a real person with real wounds and imperfections and all those things. And, so anyways, that's my little intro today. And if you want to find more of me and have daily inspiration and things like that, you can come find me on Instagram. All the links are below. It's at Talia Joy Manifestation. On Instagram, Talia Joy Manifestation, and on TikTok, it's the same thing. Facebook, it's the same thing. Also, I'm doing Monday cards through email to do a Monday channeled message of the week. So if you want to join, the link is also below to join the email community. I'm often sending out little gifts and meditations, and I do this Monday channeled card reading, so you can have a card for the week and a message. And of course, I'll let you know about upcoming workshops and stuff. So if you want to join the community, the link is below. I'd love to get to know you more, take this party to the next level. That's about me. So let's dive in. Okay. So how to know if you're manifesting what it is that you want. So I'm going to get kind of blunt in this episode. I can feel the truth coming out. I mean, it's always truth, but I want to tell you how it is. I want to give it to you as it is, because as I move forward, I do look back and go I wish I would have realized that's what was happening. Or I know I was hearing about that, but I was trying to bypass it. Or like, yeah, I knew deep down this is what I was doing to like block my manifestations, but I wish I would have known. And when I look back, there's a lot of common themes when it comes to healing my body, healing the relationship with my mom, making more money, building a business, really expanding that community and abundance and all of that. There's lots of areas of my life that I've kind of gone to work on and seen massive improvements, quantum leaps, all the things, big growth in all those areas. So there's definitely common threads when I look back and I'm like, that was totally what was happening. So in that, I'm going to be kind of blunt. I want to tell you how it is so that you can change your life and you can hear this. And maybe it's the day where you go, fuck it. This is what's going on, and I'm going to do what it takes to change it, or I'm going to really be open to something different and shift my energy because I fucking want this so bad and I hear it and it's truth. So it's going to come with some passionateness, passion. Let's just go with passion. It's going to come with some passion. So in that, just know that everything I say is in love and compassion and understanding for what it's like to suffer. So I never want to sound like I'm like, just think positive, just change your energy. Cause like I get it. And that's why I'm becoming passionate with you. And in this episode, going to really give it to you as I see it, because we need to move through the things that have been causing you to stay stuck. If that is the case. If you're simply just wondering like, yeah, how do I know what I'm manifesting? We're also going to touch on that, but feel the passion, know it's in love and understanding, and let's go. So a couple things to ask yourself. When I was channeling through this episode, writing out what I was going to say, there was questions to ask yourself that were presenting itself as how to know what you're manifesting. So first of all, here we go. This is the truth. What you are manifesting is what is currently in your reality. So if you're like, whoa, what you're manifesting right now is what is in your current reality. That is what you have been manifesting. That is, unless you've dramatically changed things in the last week, even that, what is in your life right now is what you're currently manifesting. So if your bank account is not where you want it, if your body, if your relationships, if the way you feel in your mental health and whatever is not where you want it to be, we need to be shifting these things. Because I remember, I even Googled one time, what's the lag on manifesting? If I beam it out to the universe, how long can I expect it to be until it comes here? It's a freaking Amazon order, right? And I could never find an answer. And I remember one time it was it takes approximately 16 days to manifest. And I was like, okay, so if I change my vibe, then 16 days later, I can expect to start seeing miracles. And the reason I'm laughing is because the universe is laughing right now. My whole team is you guys are so funny. Humans are so funny, but we want to figure it out. We want to know, right? But the truth is what is in your experience right now is what you have been manifesting up until right now. There's a reason. It's not just chance. It's not that you are somehow left out or God has forgotten about you or that you even have to keep creating the same amount of money or anything. It's nothing to do with if you've been left behind or what. It's just a sign of what's going on in your subconscious mind and sort of in the background of your system. So that being said, like I just touched on, we can change things in any moment. When I'm talking about quantum leaping and stuff, I'm going to actually write that down. I didn't write that into what I was going to say, but I want to come back to that. You can change your energy right now and start manifesting something different right now. So don't let it ultimately dishearten you. All it means is we need to shift a little bit, and I'm going to offer you lots in here on how to do that. So what is going on in your current experience is what you are currently manifesting. So I want you to think of one of your areas in life that is actually going well or better than last week or better than it used to be. Is there one thing you can think of? Maybe something you used to struggle with that you now don't, or something like that. And I want you to think about your general energy around that thing. When you think of that area of life, when you think of this, this area and this thing, usually our energy is going to be quite good because we're experiencing something that's better than what it used to be. And so right there, I know that that's obvious, but the law of attraction works in all ways. It's a spiral. So it's kind of chicken or the egg, right? Well, no, but I feel good because it's going well. And it's like, yeah, but the well feelings, the feeling good is what actually caused it to shift in the first place, or else it wouldn't have shifted. That is where the law of attraction is very like hardcore. It just is what it is. It's not biased. That's why narcissistic people can become millionaires very easy, because they don't care what it takes. They think and feel that they deserve it, and they don't care whose toes they have to step on to get there. That type of trait that can make you hella successful and abundant. But for people like us, first of all, we can't do that because we're kitten lovers and dolphin savers. But we also know that inside you would compromise everything. If you started taking advantage of people or having like a corrupt business, inside you'd be like, that shit will eat me away. So we also know that that's not the way to become a manifester or to become an abundant millionaire. However, that's where law of attraction straight up. What you focus on expands. So what you currently are dealing with in your life is a signal for where the work is to be done. Like it's not, if we take the story out of it, take the emotion out of it, we go, okay, my relationships are doing pretty good, but my bank account's really not. Or, you know, for the first time in a few years, my bank account's actually quite awesome, but I really don't feel good about my body. Or my friendships, I want closer connections, or I want to move, or whatever it is. So just look at the areas that aren't doing as well and invite yourself to just ask, like, maybe that's where the work needs to be done. Is there something in this area that has been calling me that feels like I have resistance? And you might not even know the answer to that, but it's the beginning of the inquiry. So number one, when you're asking yourself, like, what am I manifesting? How do I know I'm manifesting what I want? Or how do I know what I'm manifesting right now? I would ask you, or actually, let's phrase it as, if you want to know if you're manifesting what you want. If you want to know if you are manifesting what you want, I would ask you, how do you feel in your daily life? And if you are going through a really hard time and life is not feeling very good, I also have some things to say about that, because this isn't about just trying to make yourself high vibe and leaving it at that. I'm speaking to thousands of people right now. Some people are going through very heavy, real things, and some people are rocking along feeling, on cloud nine. And then in 2 days, that might shift where the person who was on cloud nine is now going through heavy stuff. So I recognize we are all in different places in different times. So this isn't about just feel good. But again, when it comes to the straightforwardness of the law of attraction in general, how do you feel in your day? And if you go like, well, sometimes I feel good, sometimes I really don't feel good, or I feel pretty good, and then like I get really low, or it's like I feel just low all the time, or maybe it's like I feel pretty good all the time, that will indicate the realm in which you are manifesting as sort of an average. So for me, I would often feel like pretty powerful and then totally fucking drained and triggered. And there was almost like two settings, right? And even so, that can still come into my life. That can still be there where I'm like, yeah, walking on sunshine. And then the next day I'm like, what is the meaning of it all? And, my kids are too much, or I'm going through this internal stuff, or I'm really triggered, or I'm really tired or sad, and it's all normal. However, when you don't feel good a lot, when you're in the, what we would call negativity, or being like, this isn't going to work out, I'm never going to do it, in that low state, you're only attracting more low state. So there's a few things from here. So I'm asking you, how to know what you're manifesting. How do you feel? Do you feel good in your days? Do you feel good in your life? So if no, depending on where you're at in that cycle, it might be really, really low, or it might be just like, meh, just going through a meh day. So I'm going to offer some options. Some are available, at other times. You can just do what feels right. Small acts of pleasure and small acts of self-care are a beautiful way to incrementally upgrade yourself out of feeling low into a better vibration, so that you can be higher vibration and manifest more things, or more things that are high vibration, more experiences, more opportunities, more abundance. So small acts of self-care and small acts of pleasure go a long way. And sometimes this is all we can do. And the universe shows me, my guides show me how acts that are really big and really small, like humans would say it's really big and really small, it doesn't really apply, because someone may do some sort of big act that they invest $30,000 in themselves. But someone may also get up and frickin' shower this morning and wash their hair. And both can be so powerful depending on where you're at, right? If it's like, I didn't cry today, or I didn't wallow, or I didn't drink today, like these things are just as big as like, ooh, I went on this $50,000 retreat. Because it's all about the energetic exchange. So doing small acts of love for yourself, making an intention to drink more water, or to go out in nature, or to write in a journal, or talk to someone, or, get a mentor, or get a massage, or just go out and wander in the forest, or do something beautiful for yourself that feels good. Make yourself coffee or tea or a meal. There's endless things you can do. Put your brush to a canvas, just do something that feels good, have a dance, have a bath, and incrementally bring yourself to little pockets of joy. That is a beautiful way to start to manifest new things. That instantly starts us manifesting better things. So I know we all want to go from 0 to 60. We want to go from in debt to millionaire. But the truth is everything is incremental. Even the millionaire incrementally made more and more money. Even if it was over a year, it'd be like month 1 was this, month 2, month 3, month 6, month 9, it would all incrementally get better. That is what we need to do. So I'm going to recommend, even while you listen to this, like stretch, go into a little stretch right now, take a few deep breaths, take a glass of water, move for a second, or just put your hand on your heart and say you love yourself, or you're sending love to yourself, or you're doing a good job. These things go farther than we realize. So this will right away start you manifesting different things, because this is where we're going to get into the quantum. So all possibilities exist at one time. Right now, as you're listening to this, you could walk out into the street naked. You could put a big smile on your face and be like, life is amazing. You could turn this off and be like, this is a bunch of shit. Please don't do that. You could do anything. Different potentials exist at any one time. So I know that there's the emotional component and the healing component of sometimes we can't just be joyful. That's why I don't bypass. And you've heard my other episodes lots about healing and going into that work. But when we choose a small act of self-care, we put ourselves into a different vibration of pleasure, of feeling good for a second, right? Of getting a massage, having those baths, all those things I talked about, where we experience a little bit of joy, a little bit of well-being, a little bit of pleasure. And in that moment, in that microsecond, in those 10 minutes of drinking the smoothie, or the 40 minutes of working out, or whatever, you are attracting to you better feeling things in that minute. So that's what I like to think of with the quantum. And is there a lag and all this stuff, is who you are being right now, what you are feeling right now is the trajection point, is the point at which everything is being attracted. So when you put your hand on your heart and take a breath, that elevates your vibration. You don't have to go from 0 to like, everything is great and going to work out and I'm so supported. Like doing a stretch, doing some yoga, these little moments of higher vibration, of relaxation, of well-being go so far. So if you're not feeling good in your life, and if you're not manifesting what you want, that will be more powerful than you realize. And remember, sometimes the smaller the gesture, the more powerful, because those are the things that you would typically overlook. I don't have time for that. I'm not worth it. I don't have enough money. Or I just, instead of taking 15 minutes to breathe, you'll be on your phone or something. And then one day it's like, no, I want to create little pockets of joy. So I have 10 minutes waiting for my daughter while I'm in the car, waiting for her dance class to get out or whatever. And instead of being on my phone, I'm going to put my hand on my heart and breathe. 15 minutes of breath would change your state in that moment. And you may be triggered again in 15 minutes, but in those moments, you are attracting something different than in the moments that you're tripping about the bills or whatever else. Again, trip away, friend. We all do it. But when you can create little moments, it goes so far. And then also asking yourself, how do I want to feel? Right? That is such a powerful feeling. If you're not manifesting what you want, a powerful question. If you're not manifesting what you want, you can ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And then intentionally create little bits of that. How do I want to feel? Ease. Okay, what can I do that makes me feel more ease than what I'm feeling right now? And again, maybe it's a big breath. Maybe it's a stretch. I say these things intentionally because sometimes it's the smallest thing that goes so far. and gives you that little hook onto the next rung of the ladder in vibration. It's that little hook that's like, okay, breath created a little bit of space, and that crack is where the light comes in. It is so powerful. So how do I want to feel? And then creating little tiny pockets of that ease, of that joy, of, like I've said to you before, freedom's a big one for me. So if I'm driving and I put down my window and I put my hand out the window, something about it feels free. It's probably road tripping as a kid or as an adult or 3 months ago, but I just love that feeling. It feels free. And maybe it's like reminds me of flying, and it just is amazing. So I can feel free doing that. So these little things. And then the other thing about under this, are you feeling good? And if not, so you can do small acts of pleasure and self-care. Ask yourself, how do you want to feel? And then the next one is what I call holding the two. There's an episode about that. And I can say to myself, right now, I'm feeling heavy, but I can also allow myself to take a breath and feel a little bit of ease. I acknowledge the pain. I'm not trying to bypass it. Right now, I'm feeling frustrated. Right now, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling unclear. But I also can allow myself to feel a little bit of joy. Or there's also a place inside me that does feel some peace. Whatever's available to you. And that's holding the two. I can feel uncertain. I can feel mad. I can feel frustrated. And I also know that it's going to be okay. And I can feel faith, and I can take a big breath into faith and trust. And that is such a beautiful incremental upgrade that really these 3 tools are really help to turn around that manifestation. Even if you're not doing like all this healing work and all these epiphanies, those are things you can do. So the next question to ask yourself to how to know if you're manifesting what you want is, do you trust it's coming? And I want you to really think about that. Like, do you trust that it's coming? So when I look back, touching on this point and the previous point, I did not feel very good. I wanted a lot of things. I wanted to manifest a lot of things, but I didn't actually feel very good. I was stressed out about money. I didn't like my body. I was in constant pain. I was angry at my mom. And deep down, I did not actually feel good. Now that took time, right? And these things of the acts of pleasure, asking how do I want to feel, holding the two, those are all things that I did that really helped. But when I also look, I'm like, did I trust it was coming? And I didn't. I didn't fully trust it was coming because I didn't have that trust muscle built up. I didn't fully believe the universe would bring me these things and that I could move out of it. And so I didn't trust. When it was my body and the eating disorder, I did not trust that my dream body was on the way, like so far from it. And with money, no, I didn't trust it was coming. And I had to work on that. So what I am going to say for that one is looking back and seeing the things that you have overcome and the times when you could have said like, oh, just trust the process, and maybe that's not a tool that right away brings something up, but maybe you were let go from a job and it turned out to be the best thing, or you had to move for a relationship, but the relationship ended, but actually you met some of your best friends there. So you're glad you moved, or whatever else. When was there a time that you could look back and go like, oh, like trust the process, to that past you? The other thing is with a trust muscle, it's just a muscle that you need to build. So if you haven't had a great manifesting history, or if it's been very up and down, or if you are just starting, I really do recommend starting with small, fun things. So picking a sign and just going with it, having fun with it, and saying like, universe, I can't wait to see a blue feather. And I thank you so much for the blue feather. It's going to be so fun. And I can't wait to see it and feel excited, and then bless and release. Other things you can do is, today or sometime soon, I'm going to receive an unexpected gift. I'm going to receive an unexpected gift and wait for that beautiful gift to come. You can do, manifest a cup of coffee and be like, this week I'm manifesting a cup of coffee, and watch as somebody, goes, oh, this coffee's on me, or your boss brings you coffee, or your husband brings you a coffee, or whatever. Start with those small things. Finding a little bit of money, looking for a sign to boost your trust muscle. And if trust is it's a thing that has to be earned in some ways, or at least shown like another human. You're shown that you can trust somebody. It lets you lean in. So when you don't have that yet, it's totally fine. And trying to just bypass it into huge manifestation things when you don't fully trust is going to get in your way. So for me, I had to do work around that and trusting that the universe has my back. And for me, a big part of it is actually a totally different direction of, I don't know why. I think it's just because of my channeling and mediumship abilities. I see and hear what spirit says over and over and over. And I just trust. It's almost blind. However, it's never let me down. And when I trust in the process, things go so much easier and solutions get presented and things that feel like miraculous healings and manifestations and things. When I trust the process, when I just lean in and trust, and I see from a higher perspective, from this spirit or soul perspective, that what you desire is meant for you and the pieces will align as you continue on the path. And that's the place where I go, they just will. They just will, okay? And that has me trust a lot. I know that's big and it may not resonate, but I just see it from that perspective and know that we can relax and trust into the universe, and built into our desires is also the ways to get there. So really, building that trust muscle and looking for other people that have leaned in or surrendered or, healed what you want to heal or manifested what you want to manifest, and just starting to build that trust muscle, because that's one thing I look back and I just didn't trust. I felt like I had to take it all into my own hands, and I had to build that slowly up by going, holy crap, when I do the work, things show up differently. Like life shows up differently. People show up differently. Manifestations happen quicker and easier. It's nuts. So continue on the path and build that trust muscle. So the next thing to ask to know if you're manifesting what you want is, are you taking inspired action? So inspired action, it's in spirit. Inspired is in spirit. So what this means is, are you taking intuitive action that comes forward as either something that goes, like, I should really do that, or it keeps like niggling at you, like yoga teacher training or getting a coach or taking a program or writing a book or whatever. These inspired actions in this case are in line with the life you want. How to know if you're moving into the life you want is, are you taking inspired action? And this is where I love the quantum work. So we get in touch with her, that version of us that is living that life. And we ask, what did you do to get here? What did you do? What were some of the steps you took? What did you invest in? What moves did you make? How did you get supported? How did you get there? We have these questions with that. And for any of you that are new, I call that her, and it's them or him, whatever resonates with you, but it is that higher version that is living the life you want. And that is why the podcast is called the Awakening Her Podcast, because we're awakening that part of us to quantum manifest, basically. So just, engaging and being like, yeah, what did she do? How did she move through? How did she overcome? What were some of the moves she made? And asking if you're taking action in line with that. So inspired action can be reading the books that call you, or working with mentors, or maybe you're getting called to move your body more. So it's starting to stretch more, putting it into action, putting inspiration into action. Are you getting out there, doing the things, learning how to do the things, and moving in the direction of your dreams? And again, I say this a lot, just like the big and small action, it doesn't just mean you have to invest a ton of money. I do believe investing money moves me forward, because I learn. I hire the people to teach me how to get where I want, right? But a lot of us, money will stop us from doing the work, and it doesn't always have to be that. So inspired action is moving forward with what you're inspired to do, and trusting that the universe has your back when you act on inspiration, because it is leaving the breadcrumbs with the inspiration, and you're following the breadcrumbs by not ignoring the intuition and the inspiration. Therefore, you will be supported in the process, because they are the ones leaving the breadcrumbs going, this way, love, right? So that's really the way I see it. And you can trust in inspired action. You can take that brave move and stay in that energy of trust, and it will work out, and it will be the move that really helped you. So taking inspired action. And then the last thing I want you to ask yourself, and get really honest, if you're saying, am I manifesting what I want, what I desire? Are you focused overly on the lack of this thing? So how do I know if I'm manifesting more money? Are you focused on the lack of money? How do I know if I'm manifesting health and well-being? Are you focused obsessively or overly on your lack of health and well-being? And this is where, again, we have to get super honest. This is where the law of attraction just doesn't give a shit. It's hardcore. If you're focused on the money you don't have, you cannot bring more in. You can't. When I was focused all the time on just my pain, my body, I would think of my pain or my weight. And I was only focused on that. I wasn't focused on when I wasn't in pain. I wasn't focused on how my neck is very slowly needing less adjustments, or I wasn't focused on the part of my body that didn't hurt. I was focused on what did hurt. That is our brain. That's what our brain does. But you won't be manifesting what you want if you're more focused on what you don't have. And think of it like scales. If the side of the scale that is what I don't have is heavier than the side of the scale of what I do have, what I know is coming, what I desire, what I want to feel, then you will manifest to the side of the scale that it's tipping. You just will. This is where energy is energy is energy. This is manifestation. So we often, almost all of us, let's bring us all into a big huddle. We all focus on what we don't want sometimes. And a lot of times until we learn this. So sometimes I'm asking someone like, what do you want? And they're like, well, I don't want to be in debt and I just don't want to be in pain anymore. And that's the way our brain thinks. But I encourage you to start thinking in the light of what you do want. And in your bank account, focusing on what you do have. And it doesn't mean you have to face your bank account and be like, oh, I'm so grateful for $7. Well, whereas in the back of your mind, you're like, it should be $70,000. It's actually more when you buy something, be grateful. Be like, I have the money for that. Right now, I'm choosing to spend $4.50 or $9.50 on a Starbucks drink because I chose it. I can afford it. I tell you this about the grocery store. I go like, I could buy any one thing in here, or I can afford these groceries, even if I'm like, holy crap, one bag, $100. What? I am doing it. It was approved somehow. So focusing more on what you do have, when you find a penny, when you find a dime, when you find money or open up a wallet and you're like, woohoo, in Canada, maybe you found a toonie, or in the States, you find a bill that they all look the same. I always feel like a big baller until I take out all the bills and they're freaking ones. And I'm like, what? I thought I had like $60 here, and our money looks like play money to you, Canadian money. If you don't know Canadian money, you should Google it and take a look at what it looks like. It's awesome. And we have a coin called a toonie. Like, that's fun. Anyway, we need to focus more on what we have. So really asking yourself, am I focused on what I don't have? Are you focused more on the fact that you don't have a partner than the fact that one is coming into your life, or you know that you will have one and you're open and available for one, or loving yourself, seeing yourself as whole and not needing a partner, but being excited to welcome them in because you do get to have it. So it's really, are you focused more on the lack of? And when I look back, I definitely go with money, with my body, with my relationship with my mom, with my other insecurities, with business. I was not feeling good. I did not trust it was coming. I was not really taking any different action. So this is actually somewhere where I do take a lot of action. And in my business, I was like hiring business strategists and paying for Facebook ads and going like guns a-blazing, and still nothing was working. The action I wasn't taking was addressing the resistance and the healing. So just for me, when I look back, that's a place that I actually see that I wasn't taking action. I was actually doing everything else. I was avoiding things like inner child work and healing. But I was all into business strategy and mindset hacks and all these different things. And that only took me so far. So for me personally, I look back and I go, I was taking a lot of action, but I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't practicing self-love and putting that into action the way I do now. Sacredness, forgiveness, empathy for myself, repairing and healing and recreating a new relationship with myself. I wasn't doing that. So asking yourself, am I taking aligned action? And are you focused more on the lack of in the area of life that you want to manifest, or everything? Are you focused more on what you don't have than what you do have? And this is the time to not just even like, you can write a gratitude list all day, but just recount and notice what you do have, and notice in your day little moments of the first sip of coffee, or when the sun comes through the clouds, or you're laughing with a friend or a partner, or one moment you were able to take one deep breath and go, that was a moment of peace. it's like not putting your blinders and ignoring anything bad, but really choosing what you focus on. So to recap, how to know if you're manifesting what you want, it actually becomes quite obvious. Do you feel an energetic alignment with it? And everything I've manifested in the end wasn't a huge surprise because I could feel it coming because I was in line with these things. I was really learning to trust it was coming. I was learning how to make myself feel good, to how to lean into pleasure and self-love and compassion for myself, what that really means, right? Healing that. I was trusting it was coming. I was taking different actions. I was putting love into action with myself even more. Self-forgiveness, not being as hard on myself, like these different things, creating different actions, continuing to take action in my business and income and different things. And now I'm so focused on what I do have that I look back and I go, I was definitely focused on what I didn't have. And now I can see those blessings and all these things that I knew on a conscious level are being embodied deeper into me because I really do understand that we live in an abundance, in an abundant universe. There is well-being available to you right now. There is the power of a breath. There is love within yourself from a friend, from a kitten, from a puppy. Find the silver lining and not ignore the bad stuff, but recognize with your heart what you do have and those moments that feel good. So align more acts of pleasure, self-care, those little actions, asking yourself how you want to feel, choosing to feel better more often, and doing the deep healing work on the parts of you that just can't. The parts of you that are like, I'm traumatized by this, or this keeps playing out. Invest in the deeper work, whether it's a therapist, someone who deals with trauma, a coach, a mentor, spiritual guide, whatever it is that you need. It may be worth it. It may be worth that. It may be time for you, right? To really go to work on those looping patterns, those deeper things. But ultimately, as well, choosing to allow yourself to feel pleasure, allow yourself to feel good, start to trust that it's coming, lean in and surrender into the faith of the universe and do any work you need around that, people that activate you with their level of faith and trust, or playing with signs, playing with that, engaging. They want to engage with you. They want you to be a believer because as you become a believer that you are guided and you can trust and fall in, your energy changes and you get to be a more powerful being and you get to manifest. So they want that for you too, your spirit team, your angels. So leaning in and playing games like signs and asking for little blessings, asking for little gifts, build that trust muscle, take aligned action. Notice, what am I inspired to do? Not what do I think I have to do? What am I inspired to do? What would she do in this place? What would she do? What did she do to get unstuck, to move through this? And then focus on what you do have as much as possible. Focus on the things that you already have in your life. The fact that you can afford the Starbucks, the fact that you are learning how to love yourself instead of just the lack of money or partnership or relationships or whatever. So I hope that this resonates. I hope that you got a lot out of this. As always, it's my pleasure being here. I can't wait for the next episode to connect more deeply with you. And as I said, if you do want to take this party elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram, the email list for the weekly card. And you can always reach out to me and let me know how you found the show and anything particular that resonates with you. I love to hear. So thank you, my love. Thank you for being here. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I genuinely hope that it helped you. I hope that it resonated. And I hope there's something in here that you can bring forward into your life to help you manifest more. So if you want to keep this party going, make sure to come find me over on Instagram at Talia Joy Manifestation. And to anyone that takes a screenshot of themselves listening to the show, post it on Instagram, tag me. I will send you a free gift. I can't wait to connect. Thank you so much for being the type of seeker you are. Have a great day.